Good morning. Today we're going to be reworking this deck on the back of my house. If you think you might be interested in that, stay tuned because that's what we're going to do today. Well, welcome to another Memphis Monday 327, our 15th week of year 7. Today I'm just going to call it part 1 because I know there's going to have to be a part 2 because the week's almost over and I don't have the job done yet. So there'll be a part 2 either next week or the week after, whenever. But today we're going to be fixing my the deck on the back of my house. It's been there for about 20 years. I've been working on it, a little bit every year, trying to keep the boards, the decking connected. It's been a real pain in the butt, so I decided to fix it once and for all. So today we're going to look at the construction, the frame work of the deck, which is always the most important thing, the design and everything of it, and then we're going to look at the planking. So let's knock off the chit chat and get to work. Before we go out there and take a look at it, I thought I'd make a little schematic of what we're going to be looking at. The deck framing is essentially a square. It's 22 feet wide and 25 feet long, and this end portion right here is sort of an add-on for the steps. It's non-structural. The frame itself has double frame work here that consists of 2x10s that are doubled and 4x4 posts, about 5 of them on each side. And then down the center is some more framing. I don't think it's really could be called a girder because it goes into the side of the posts. And then the joists are held, these joists are 10 feet long, and they're held at these positions with joist hangers. Leaving anything out? I don't think so. Let's go out and take a look at it. By the way, I decided to not put a deck under this new shed roof we built a few weeks ago because I like the fact that it's yard level and I can bring yard equipment right on in. I may put some gravel down or something. Also, I plan on using some of that wood I plan on using for the deck here on the west side. I'm going to use it to repair the deck on the back of my house. Here we are approaching the deck. This is the stair section right here. It's not really holding up the main deck, and we put this rail right here in. I don't remember which Memphis Monday it was, but it'll be there when the cockroaches take over. So here's the deck. It's 25 feet long to the square section anyway. It's actually about 28 feet long if you count the distance from the square out to the end of the steps. And then it's 22 feet across there. This is my uncovered deck. I also have a little enclosed deck over here, which I'm using it as a workshop right now. But this is, I really like this part of my house. So you can see the framework here. This is those are 2x10s that go all around the perimeter, and they're held with 4x4s that go into the ground, and they're held in concrete. And then that's a double 2x10. It makes up the north end of the square. And here's the center framing, held up with 6 4x4s. They're bolted and lagged into place, and that goes the entire distance. Now I want you to see something that's kind of funny. They held those joist hangers in with 3-inch hot dip galvanized ring shank nails. Talk about that later. But all the joists are held in with joist hangers, which I'm fine with, but I can't get over the fact that they used those long joist hanger nails, those long ring shank nails. The joists are 2 feet apart, and no nogging was installed except these 2x6 boards that were just nailed kind of randomly underneath. But they're not even on the west side over there. That's the only nogging. The posts for the deck railing were installed kind of correctly. This one here is notched. Ordinarily they're not notched. You just put the full size board up, or post up, and put lag bolts in there. But this is the only one I've found that is incorrect. The rest of them haven't been notched, and they're just flat against that outer frame. Okay, the curious thing here is that the central joist here, which carries the most weight, this central framing member carries the most weight, but this is only a 2x8, but these are 2x10s on the outer edges. They carry less weight, but they're the 2x10s, and these are 2x6s. So that's curious. I would have probably gone with 6x6 or 4x6 for these, but they've held up for 20 years, so they must be okay. Another thing is the joist hangers were put in with 3-inch hot dip galvanized nails, and they should have been put in with joist hanger nails. Let me show you the correct stuff to put that in with. There's only 3 ways to put those joist hangers on correctly. One is joist hanger nails. They're hot dip galvanized. Another option is joist hanger nails or screws. sometimes nice and in small, hard to reach places. Then a third option is using this tool here. If I can get the nails out and show you. These are joist hanger nails that are operated by a gun. We've used this before on projects. I know I talked about it before. I don't want anybody to break into any project I've done 20 years from now and find something embarrassing like these joist hanger nails in this project. I think they're all right. I mean, I think they're going to hold the joist up all right, but it just looks weird. Okay, next thing whoever built this did is they put the planking on at a 45-degree angle or close to it at an angle. Let's look at the ramifications of that. Okay, this is a 2x6 joist. We're looking down on it. It means our deck planking is going to meet that 1 1/2 inch board right down the center. So it's going to have this little pointy end right here, and it's only going to have 3/4 of an inch right here to try to get a nail or a screw into. Which is going to cause it to split right here. And that's exactly what happened. Here you can see what I'm talking about. There's one fastener and there's another fastener. And see how the wood is split, and it wasn't even connected real good to that joist because just not enough room. And they're all like that. Every one of them are split. That one's split. Now you can see I've taken out probably a third of the boards, the decking boards, because of the splitting problem. And believe it or not, that's one of the better ones right there. So my solution to this is I've added a 2x3 cleat, 2 of them, to each of the joists so that I have something to nail into. So now I can add nails to the 1.5 inches out, and they won't be splitting the wood. Here's a good example right here. You can see with that cleat, so I have those cleats in there, so I can move those nails out to the very edge and center it on that cleat, and now I have 1.5 inches instead of 3/4 of an inch. And some people wonder why I use ring shank nails instead of screws on my decks. And this is the reason. This is what a deck screw looks like after 20 years. And all these deck screws started failing at the same time. This spring must have had 20 boards just all give way at the same time. So this is what a deck screw looks like after 20 years. Let's look what a ring shank nail looks like. This is what a ring shank nail looks like after 20 years. Not rusty at all. This is what galvanized bolts look like after 20 years. Not rusted at all. So the fasteners I'm going to use for the deck boards, I'm going to use these 3 1/4 inch hot dip galvanized ring shank nails. Now for the framing, I'm only using these 3 inch because I don't want them to pop through when I have to nail from both sides. These will allow me to insert these at an angle into the joist where I don't have a where I don't have a nailer up there, because I don't have nailers everywhere. Here's another compare and contrast. You can see how those nails right there are about an inch and a half away from the edge on this new decking. That's because I have a cleat behind it. Gives me that room. When I go down here where there's no cleat, and I have to put those nails too close to the edge, in my opinion. And the final thing I'm fighting on this deck is, when they installed it, they took this plastic or nylon screening material and they attached it right up against the deck boards. Well, it didn't keep one single bug out, I guarantee. All it did was trap leaf litter and all the trash from that you wash when you wash the deck down. It just trapped it right underneath the deck boards. So the deck boards are just sitting in this mass of wet leaf debris forever. Well, I'm uninstalling all of this. So we're solving this planking cracking problem by installing cleats on both sides to act as nailers, so then we can put our nails back here so our nails will be an inch and a half from the center line instead of 3/4 of an inch. And then the second method is I have some 3 1/4 inch ring shank nails where I don't have a cleat. I'll be able to put the ring shank nails in back here at between an inch and 1.25 inches and drive them in at an angle. So as I say, I don't have cleats on all the joist, but with the 3 1/4 inch ring shank nails, I'll be able to drive them in from quite a distance into that joist, away from that edge. Well, that does it for Memphis Monday 327. A little progress report on our deck rebuild. rebuild. We've doubled up the joists, changed the fasteners, removed the screen, tore out the worst of the boards, and we've come up with a plan, so maybe next week we can finish this job. Well, that does it for Memphis Monday 3/27, week 15 of year 7. Today we kind of did a little show and tell on the deck rebuild on the back of my house. Big job. You know, I don't film a lot of these decks and shed roofs, and those outdoor projects are so hard to, you know, with the wind and the sun and the noise, and it's just too hard to do it halfway good and cover anything. But anyway, we talked about the things we're going to improve, and I'm not really bad mouthing the deck or whoever built it, because fact is, every time I build something, when I'm finished, I point out things I could have did different. But that's just the way it goes. That's how you improve in life, I guess. Alright, so like, favorite, share, all the stuff you do on the internet. But most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.